FMLA is one of those topics that makes most managers instantly nervous. You're trying to balance schedules, workloads, and now somebody says, I need time off for a health condition. Do you approve it? Do you ask for paperwork? What if they don't qualify? This is where so many managers accidentally get the company and themselves in trouble. So today we're breaking down what exactly you as a manager need to know about FMLA without the legal jargon and without the confusion. These are just real examples and practical steps that will keep you compliant and your team supported. First, let's talk about the basics. What FMLA actually covers. FMLA stands for Family and Medical Leave Act. It gives eligible employees up to 12 weeks of unpaid job-protected leave in a 12-month period for specific reasons like their own serious health condition, caring for a spouse, child, or parent with a serious health condition, the birth or adoption of a child, and certain military family situations. Here's the catch. It's not paid leave under federal law. Some states now have paid leave programs, but federal FMLA time itself is unpaid. Next, who's eligible? This is where many managers slip up. To qualify, an employee must work for a covered employer. That's any employer with 50 or more employees within a 75-mile radius, have worked at least 12 months. Now, those don't necessarily have to be consecutive, and they have to have 1,250 hours of actual work in the past 12 months. So if your company is smaller, the employee is newer, they may not qualify, but that doesn't mean you can ignore what's going on. You should still loop in HR before saying no. Next, why managers get pulled in. Managers are usually the first point of contact. Employees rarely say, I need FMLA. They're more likely going to say something like, I'm going to need surgery, or my mom is in the hospital, or I'm not feeling well and I may need some time off. If you hear something that sounds medical or family related, that is your cue that you need to notify HR immediately. Your job as a manager is not to diagnose or decide. It's to recognize potential FMLA situations and report it immediately. Next, let's talk about a real-world example. Let's say one of your employees, Sarah, tells you she's having complications with her pregnancy and her doctor says she'll need a few weeks of bed rest. Even if Sarah doesn't use the words FMLA, you need to flag it and send it to HR right away. HR will then provide her with the official notice and paperwork. They will verify her eligibility and they will track the leave properly. So if you handle it right, Sarah gets the protection that she needs and you're going to stay compliant. If you don't, the company could face a violation and you could personally be involved in that mess. And trust me, you don't want to be involved in that. So next, let's talk about your role while they're out. Once HR approves FMLA, your responsibility is to respect their privacy. Don't talk about why they're out and don't share any of the medical details with any of their coworkers. Next, avoid contacting them about work unless it's absolutely necessary to keep the operations running. Third, track attendance correctly. FMLA time is protected, so it should never be marked as unexcused or it shouldn't have points against them. And finally, treat them the same way when they return. Treating them the same doesn't just mean being polite when they come back. It means don't cut their hours, change their shift, or move them to a less desirable role. Don't skip over them for a raise or a promotion because they missed time on approved leave. And this is where a lot of managers struggle a little bit. Don't lower their bonus, incentive, or their attendance score because they have FMLA covered absences. Even if it made the coverage tough for the team, they cannot be downgraded or receive anything less than other people if it was covered under FMLA. If the time off was protected under FMLA, it cannot be used against them in any kind of performance or incentive review. Now, that includes intermittent leave, those one-day absences or reduced schedules that happen over time. If someone qualifies for a monthly or annual bonus and they meet all of their other goals, their FMLA absence should not reduce or disqualify their payout. Next, let's talk about what to do when the 12 weeks are up. Once FMLA time runs out, the employee should return to their same or equivalent position. If they can't return yet, HR will need to explore ADA accommodations. For more on that, watch this video here. I have linked my ADA video that you can look at in more detail. Next, let's talk about what to do when the 12 weeks are up. Once FMLA time runs out, the employee should return to their same or equivalent position. If they can't return yet, HR may need to explore ADA accommodations or additional leave options, but you shouldn't make that call alone. Always bring HR into the loop before making any employment decisions connected to a leave of absence. Finally, let's talk about what's new or important in 2026. A few key updates you should know this year. First of all, more states now offer paid family leave in addition to FMLA. That can overlap, so don't assume unpaid always means unpaid anymore. Know your state's rules. Next, the Department of Labor is increasing enforcement, especially for managers who deny leave incorrectly or who share medical information. And finally, remote and hybrid workers do count towards your 50 employee total based on their assigned work site, not their home address. So for a final recap, if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. Don't decide if someone qualifies. Recognize and refer to HR. Second, don't ask for medical details. HR will handle that. And third, don't treat leave as an inconvenience. It is a legal right. So your role as a manager is to support your people while protecting the company by staying consistent, confidential, and compliant. If you found this helpful, hit the like button and be sure to share it with another manager, especially the ones who say FMLA doesn't apply to us, because it might. And if you're in HR, check out my FMLA for HR professionals video, where we go much deeper into tracking, documentation, and we talk more about those tricky gray areas. We'll see you there. Bye.